Evidently, Zillow drops climate risk scores after industry pushback. Would you buy a home? This is the question we're leading off with here. Would you buy a home if you knew it could flood in 5 years? Now, Zillow thought buyers deserved that warning. That is until the real estate industry pushed back. They're like, hey, you don't have to let them know about that.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, right. Now the biggest home search platform in America has quietly removed the very climate data meant to protect consumers.
Zillow's climate risk score was built to solve a real problem. In September 2025, Zillow launched the Breakthrough Climate Tool powered by First Street Foundation. So First Street is a company that does the analytics to tell investors, developers, whomever, what's going on with the climate risk situation, whether it's fires, floods, any of that stuff.
I just wonder if somebody at Zillow was shown the door over this. Like Mike in marketing, who was moving his way up the ladder.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, I got a great idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we include climate risk scores? And everyone's like, you know what, Mike, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And then 6 months later, at California board, and everybody's threatening to sue you and everything. It's like, all right, Mike, that was not a good idea. We're going to have to ask you to leave now. So moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about Riviera Beach. Because they picked a partner in a $481 million redevelopment. In fact, that's the biggest redesign in the city's 103-year history. If you knew Riviera Beach had been around for 103 years, good for you. And the thing is, almost nobody realized, how massive this deal really is. In fact, a single vote set a $480 million citywide redesign into motion, from a brand new city hall to a sports complex built for national tournaments. I would hope so, if you're going to build something that big.
Frankly, if you're thinking about investing in Riviera Beach, it's not a bad idea to check out that Blue Heron corridor, because we were talking about something closer to the water off Blue Heron. I saw 72 acres and I was just like, that sounds different. And so as we investigated more, we learned, where this was. It's just west of the other projects that are closer to the water. Sun and Blank. Yeah, Sun and Blank. So city staff scored Sun and Blank slightly higher, mostly because of their track record delivering government projects nationwide. So these guys are big time in the area. And so the land at the center of the project is 40.8 acres around the current city hall, which is right off West Blue Heron Boulevard, as we were talking about. And then 29 acres are owned by the school district near the Inlet Grove High School. And then you got 2 acres of city land around Broadway. So this is, 72 acres, one of the biggest publicly controlled redevelopment sites in Palm Beach County, period. So they got a new city hall and a library, 150,000 square feet, right? And there's 2 options proposed for this. City hall plus 600 space garage built around or on the Blue Heron land. And then what do we got? A city hall plus a library complex at the Marina Village with 1,000 park spaces on the water tank site, which is interesting, right? And then let's see what else they got here. Oh, this is interesting, right? A $59.5 million indoor-outdoor sports complex.
Yeah.
So big project. Let's see, 4 basketball courts, 8 volleyball courts, 10,000 square feet of meeting space, 16,000 square feet fitness center, outdoor fields, tennis, pickleball, baseball.
Well, that was what I was going to say. I was like, do we have the pickleball?
We got the pickleball.
Let's focus on what's important here.
Pickleball, it's there. I wonder how much they're going to put in there. But tennis is almost out. They just say tennis/pickleball, but they really just mean pickleball. They're also proposing 658 new housing units. And they're designed specifically for teachers, first responders, working families. Yeah. Right? And let's see, it says they're building, I guess it's going to be called the Flats at Blue Heron, 488 units with a rail station and a broadband network. When they add a ton of new units like this, it kind of brings up the density of the area, which then supports more local businesses, which brings in newer restaurants and kind of creates a better vibe, and that area frankly can use it, right? And so if they continue to develop along here, this will be net positive.
Congratulations to Riviera Beach for working your way up. I did not have that on my 2025 bingo card, but here we are. Here's a story that does involve Steve Ross and related group. He proposes a $290 million West Palm Beach Convention Center hotel. his second in the city, because it's like one convention center. It's not enough. How are we going to do this? So obviously, what would you say if I told you Palm Beach County is being offered $290 million luxury hotel for a single dollar? Here's the deal. Related Ross's proposal to build a 400-room Curio by Hilton next to the convention center at 900 South Rosemary Ave, but only if the county accepts $1 land transfer and a 99-year leaseback that wipes out property taxes for nearly a century. Steve's working them. He's working them, huh?
So the game here is he offers Palm Beach County, or West Palm Beach, the city of West Palm Beach, buys the property from him for $1.
Right.
Then he leases it back, right? The single move creates a cascade of financial advantages. Property taxes vanish for 99 years because, in theory, they're structuring a lease back for that time on a $290 million hotel. That's roughly $4 to $6 million per year saved, or $150 to $200 million over the lease term. If you think about it from economic impact, and you think about, okay, so how many units, how many key hotel is this? Okay, how many people are going to be here per year now? Additionally, how many people are going to be running around the area? Maybe that convention center isn't at its full capacity because they don't have enough hotels in the area to support it, or just enough hotels adjacent to support it. Yeah. So now we have bigger venues playing out in that area, with more people staying, et cetera, et cetera. It just like brings more people to the city, brings more money to the local businesses, sales tax, et cetera, et cetera. So I think net, like, again, more people come to the area doing their thing. It's all positive. So
we're going to keep it moving here and talk about the most vague title to a story I think I've ever seen. Hotel could be replaced with apartments in a coastal city, which is essentially like every coastal city in the state of Florida. But in this case, we're talking about a 66-room hotel in Lighthouse Point. It may soon be demolished and replaced with a modest apartment community. I almost feel like it needs a drum roll, but we're not going to do that. Lighthouse Point Hotel. It's a 2.7-acre slice of Pompano Beach. It may soon be gone, so you better see it now. It'll be replaced by a massive new residential community known as the Satori at Lighthouse Point, an 8-story residential development proposed in Pompano Beach, led by South Florida-based 4211 North Fed, which is an affiliate of 1112 Development. The project is aiming to bring 187 units to the North Federal Highway Corridor.
There's not a lot of stories that pop up about Lighthouse Point getting redevelopment. Look at this project. This is great. This is way better than what's currently there. Mm-hmm. So, and the proposed project, this is neat. Let's see here. What do we got? In March of 2025, an affiliate of 1112 Development quietly wrote a $5.9 million check for that land. Okay. At the time, it barely made headlines. Agreed. Only later did the full plan emerge. 3 8-story buildings, 182 units, 27 workforce housing flex units, 336 parking spaces, amenity deck with pickleball court, club room, pool, lounges, BBQ spaces. That's great. A rooftop fitness center. All kind of neat.
Well, hopefully that won't be the case with this New York developer who could replace Broward restaurants, get this, with condos. Hey, wow. So evidently a New York developer just set their sights on Pompano Beach, as so many developers are right now. The plan could wipe out 2 local restaurants.
The location, as we know, a lot is happening along Atlantic in general, Atlantic Boulevard, that is, in Pompano, and this is just yet one of the many projects that are kind of specced out for this area. Yeah, it might remove some restaurants, but there'll be retail on the first floor, and they can come back.
Can replace Mad Chicken?
All right, so what do we got? 3 parcels totaling just half an acre, 3,149 square feet of ground floor retail, as I mentioned, which makes sense. As you mentioned, replacing Mad Chicken and Cafe Sportivo, and a salon. I think we'll survive.
In case you were wondering, time is running out for South Florida developers to cash in on EB5. What is EB5? I have no idea. And that's probably my fault, but apparently a major source of real estate funding in South Florida is approaching 2 federal deadlines. Now, developers who rely on EB5 capital are accelerating raises to stay ahead of the cutoff. So to cave people like myself, Larry, what is EB5? I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
So EB5 is an immigrant investor program.
Okay.
So as you know, South Florida, very international.
There are a lot of immigrants here. I've noticed that.
Very international. And it's been a reliable source of low capital for South Florida's developments for more than a decade, right? Helping developers bridge funding gaps and launch large-scale projects, particularly those with hotel or mixed-use components. With federal expiration dates approaching in 2026 and 2027, both developers and foreign investors are, as you mentioned, accelerating the filings to get these funding efforts moved along. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for South Florida in general because it's so international. Each investor's funds must create 10 full-time U.S. jobs, directly or indirectly.
So how would you figure that? How does that work?
I guess from that investment, you start a business and you have 10 full-time employees, or that investment is somehow tied or correlated strategically to being able to hire 10 more people. They're raising this money. This is 20 to 30% of that, lowering overall financing costs compared to preferred equity or mezzanine debt, right? So which is kind of interesting because, again, this debt, this 20 to 30% of the capital stack is for these guys that are coming in. This is giving them the opportunity to get into the United States, while local investors, they don't care about that. They care about their return, right? And so obviously the guys or the businesses that are raising this money, they want to pay the lowest price possible, and so EB5 is a good option for that, right? So if this goes away, what happens? Maybe development slows down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe less projects get off the ground because the capital stack or the cost of capital, the blended cost of capital is slightly higher. Maybe the deals that they do, they need to be a little cheaper.
All right. You know, we've talked about Russell Weiner of Rockstar Energy before. He's a billionaire. He was the founder of Rockstar Energy. I believe he sold the company to Pepsi-Cola a few years ago for a lot of money. It was actually, $4
billion?
plus. Yeah, $4 billion plus. I remember it was a lot. Well, anyway, he's now known as Russell Savage because, you know, how can you be a rock star and not have a last name like Savage? He was the Rockstar Energy founder who had walked away and immediately pivoted into ultra-luxury real estate. What started as a quote-unquote couple quick flips has turned into a strategic takeover of South Florida's most exclusive enclaves, from North Palm Beach to Miami Beach to Delray's elusive Stone Creek Ranch. Well, I feel like we're talking about Stone Creek Ranch a lot lately. So, yeah, he is building down here, and it seems to be working for him.
His blueprint: seclusion, scale, water.
Yeah.
That's his plan. He's not buying condos.
No.
Right?
Well, right. I was going to say, I mean, when we're talking about Stone Creek, it just seemed, no condos out there.
He's buying land, compounds, and gated estates built for billionaires who don't want to be seen unless they choose to be, which is interesting. So Stone Creek in Delray, we talked about this. This is where our buddy Walmart.
Yeah, so I was going to say, right?
Yeah, Marky Mark. Marky Mark just closed a deal in Stone Creek, so you know who's there. 37 estates, 187 acres, no tourists, no noise, just privacy. What's unique about Stone Creek, and I don't know if I love this, but maybe that's why they did it, but it's way out west, right? Whereas, I don't know if you got money, you probably want to be on the ocean.
Well, that's the thing, but I get it. But we've talked about this many times, but if you want, a bigger home and more space, you got to go west.